before we get this started, let me explain it. So, I have recorded a couple of series of tutorials for SMS, Super Mario Sunshine, speedrun tutorials. Good quality tutorials, I hope. Taught everything out of save states so that I could, on emulator, so I could just show everyone all the relevant bits and reset the save state and just kind of talk people through it. And also with a nice emulator input display here. So, these tutorials are mostly targeting beginners, or actually I'll put it, the way that I put it on my website. It's about making SMS any percent painless to learn and rearing future serious players, bringing them up on good movement fundamentals. Some of the stuff I've done is to encourage better strats among experienced players as well. But for beginners, the goal is to make skips and high-risk stages as safe as possible, so the most effort has gone into glitch setups, secret stages, and Shadow Mario. Right, so, linked in the description is going to be my website, which has basically everything in one place. So the YouTube playlists that are going to have this video linked on top of them. And it also has, as a third thing that I did, a strat guide. So me going through every level in any percent and just kind of recommending my favorite tutorials for them, approaches for how to learn the level, and just kind of generally talking a bit about them. So, give feedback. It helps the next person who wants to make an SMS tutorial to improve on whatever I have done and whether it's gone well or not. All of my tutorials are experimental, but I was in a rush to get them all out, right? So the intention is one day someone will come and improve on them. So, like I said, I did 2 styles of tutorials. So I've done 7 sort of in-depth tutorials, first of all. So these are kind of like lectures. They were kind of intended to be like my maths lectures at uni. So they're long, certainly very long, conversational, right? So they're kind of just me talking, improvised, and they're supposed to be fun to listen to, right? And they have a lot of detail in them. So it's good to take notes of the stuff that you think is most helpful. So they're also, because they're so detailed, useful as references, hence they have summaries of what is being taught and timestamps in the description, so that you can just kind of pick up little bits depending on what you need help with, and it's all good. So the style of the tutorial, right, it's intended for diligent learners who intend to be as good as they can be at SMS. But that doesn't mean that, the tutorials are perfect, because like I said, I recorded them all in one take pretty much. I think GBS took 2 because that was very difficult to be concise about. So yeah, some of them are waffly, some of the strats are already outdated, which I think is funny. So, they will be reviewed and improved by others, like I was saying. And also, obviously, if I kept lecturing SMS the way that I did in those videos, then I'd myself be able to improve them, with repetition, get things down, pick out the bits that are the best and cut out some of the bits that are repetitive or not that important. But like I said, I was in a rush to just get it all out, brain dump, everything that was in my head, I just wanted it down, in a nice video. But yeah, some of the experiments are, I think, interesting. I know, like the Bianco 3 secret tutorial, for example, the second half of that is a tutorial on fundamentals. So it's kind of teaching you what is important when it comes to movement, what to pay attention to, how to stand on your own 2 feet, learn from your own mistakes, and get good at movement eventually. So that is the tutorials. And then I also have a playlist of 30 strat demos. So these are just strat videos recorded with the little input display, but they have they're annotated. They have a sidebar of comments that kind of scrolls as the video goes, explaining little nuances, right? So I just did those for levels and strats where I felt that existing tutorials were lacking. Like, for example, at beginner level, you still don't really have a good strats for the secrets that beginners can get started with. So I tried to record one robust strat to suggest. And even advanced players, like, I have a few strats in there, like particularly the Noki 1 Bombs strat and the Noki 3, that I think most players would do well, they could benefit from looking at. Yep, and I have a demo for everything in the in-depth series. But obviously in the in-depth lectures, there's a lot more to explain. You know, you have all the backups, you have the flowcharts so that you know how to make decisions, and also the theory that goes beneath the movement so that you can learn to diagnose your own errors. You know, the stuff that I was talking about how movement works, for example. I get into a lot of depth on that when I talk about the secrets in the tutorials. So that is it. I hope you enjoyed the tutorials. I hope they're useful to you, and yeah, make sure you leave feedback for either me or whoever else comes along to improve the tutorials one day. And also, obviously, if you have any questions, you can ask in the comments or you can ask in the Discord. So, thanks for watching.